Hi, today I'm going to talk a little bit about appraisals, things that you as a homeowner should know about appraisals. If you're planning to sell or refinance, you're most likely going to have to deal with an appraiser and the appraisal process. So it's basically, in a nutshell, it's an opinion, a third-party opinion of the value of your home. That's really the best way to look at it. And then basically, if you're selling, the home buyer's lender is responsible for ordering it, and the home buyer typically pays for it. If you're refinancing, your lender, whoever you're using, is responsible for ordering it, and you're probably going to pay for it, at least as part of closing costs, if nothing else. So how do you prepare for an appraisal? Well, some of the little things, these things make a difference when you sell your house. They make a difference on the appraisal. In fact, they make a difference anytime somebody comes into your house, but we kind of tend to forget about them. But minor repairs, leaky faucets, flickering light bulbs that don't work, they're just little things, but they matter. Fresh paint is huge. Clear up clutter, make the house easier to access, easier to walk around, easier to see. And then what appraisers look for? Well, certainly the location and the total lot size, comparable properties, and then overall market conditions are factors. But as far as the general property itself, certainly size, garage and driveway, are you allowed to put it in an ADU? That may impact the value. And then the overall condition of the property, and that in the sense that it conforms with the neighborhood. Sometimes people may be outbuilding a home in a neighborhood. Quite frankly, I see contractors do this a lot. They may have some extra materials and they're able to do their house during off times and stuff, so they can do it a lot cheaper than we can, but they expect to get top dollar for it, and you're not going to get 5,000 square foot house to get top dollar if all the other houses are 1,500 square feet. So heating and cooling, floors, walls and trim, appliances, and energy efficient fixtures are also some things they look at. And then on the exterior, the walls, how many cracks you have, issues like that, the roof, and outdoor amenities, whether it's a porch, deck, patio, pool, outdoor fireplace, all that stuff. And then of course foundation and attic are really important, and basement, but we don't have any basements here, or very few. And so then what do? You have an appraiser coming over, how do you deal with it? What is your job? And so the best thing you can do is give them a list of the improvements you've made and when you made them, because it matters to them whether an improvement was made 3 years ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago in terms of value. So you should be there, and you should point out things they might not recognize just by walking around. But at the same time, you want to give him space to do his job. So you might say, look, here's a list of the improvements I've made, and give them to him up front so he can kind of keep an eye out for him as he goes through, and then let him do his job, get out of the way. And then try to avoid having pets and things like that might distract him or make him feel like he shouldn't spend time here, things like that. And then afterward, you typically wait a week or two to get the results, and that will go to the lender. And then if you're refinancing, then the lender's required to give you a copy. But if you're selling, you may never see that appraisal. Yeah, in some senses, the best thing that can happen is that, you never hear a word about it. That just means the buyer got the appraisal, they're good with it, so fine. But you can't ask. Now, if the appraisal comes in low, many times that buyer will provide a copy to the seller and say, hey, look, I know I said I'd pay $1, but the guy says it's worth 95 cents. What do you think? Let's do 95 cents. And then you have a whole nother issue. But the bottom line also is that if there's something wrong, you feel there's something wrong with the appraisal, like it came in too low, you need to talk to the lender, not the appraisal. There's a process to rebut it, but the appraiser is not allowed to have that discussion with you. They can only talk to the lender. There you go. I hope that helped a little bit on the idea of appraisals, and be sure to like this video, and thank you very much.